Jordan, although it looks like he may be in the lead, believe me, the Boehner boys of corruption, the corporatist scum who cozy up to government corruption and just want a piece of it like the Illinois Republicans, they're going to put up a fight, so nothing's a sure thing, and we're going to expose the John Boehner scum and the rest of the fraud Republicans also in the show tonight. But I want to touch upon the idea that two things can happen at the same time. It's true, this show is not for Chicago Democrats. Turn the station, you morons. You're part of the problem that contributed to the situation we're living in, navigating through, and wallowing in. The Democrat mafia strength in this country. In the meantime, when you hear the idea that people who supported wrongly, who were lied to during the Bush years, are the same people who are supporting Israel today, and it's the same kind of propaganda, that is a lie. I, for instance, am completely against the Bush years, the invasion of Iraq, all of it, totally against it. Understand the war profiteering. This is not that, and they should not be taken in the same sentence. They shouldn't even be referred to in the same paragraph, because the reality is what you're seeing here is a culmination of what these savage bastards have always wanted to do. Oh, how could you possibly say that? Listen to them. It's funny for the last 50 years how we don't listen to them. Well, I was able to obtain a clip, thanks to the lovely Honey Bunny today, of one of the founders of HAMAS, an organization that has destroyed the quality of life anywhere it lives. And it's funny today to see Jordan celebrate Hamas and say Jordan is Hamas. Well, then, welcome to the future that Gaza experiences today, because this is what it will lead to. Because you cannot coexist with Hamas. Who says that? Hamas says that. Here is the son. His name is Mohammed Hussein Yusuf. His father was Sheikh Hussein Yusuf, or as I like to call him, useless. And in the meantime, he's going to tell you way back in 2014 on the Don Lemon show on CNN. He's going to tell you exactly what the ideology is of Hamas. Now, why would he be someone to reference? He was raised in it. His father, the co-founder of Hamas.
I'm joined now by Musab Hassan Youssef. He's the author of Son of Hamas, and he joins us live. You know, your father was a founding member of Hamas, and you were groomed to take a leadership position. Eventually, you converted to Christianity, rejected their political and military objectives. Why did you do that?
Well, for the simple reasons that we see right now in Gaza, that Hamas does not care about the lives of Palestinians, does not care about the lives of Israelis or Americans.
That's a crucially important part, because what happened, what we're all reacting to, is the invasion by 2,000 murdering scum to the weakest defended aspect of Israel. In fact, it is the most sympathetic to the so-called Palestinian plight. It was an area of kibbutz. I didn't know what it was, admittedly. Turns out it's something I'm directly opposed to. It's some hippie commune where they all work the land and share the money, and they live in little tiny places, and they all try to get along. In fact, they are a liaison to what they refer to as Palestine. They supplied a tremendous amount of their food, a tremendous amount of everything. This is who they killed. This is who they raped, the weakest, and they knew it was the weakest part. See, we lose sight of that, and we think it's their military against our military. You know the difference between our military? Do you know why so many soldiers kill themselves every day? Because they have a hard time living with what they had to do in the name of patriotism, in the name of their country. They have a hard time taking their lives. They don't go back home and do that, and they don't rape the women. They don't do that.
They don't care about their own lives. They consider dying for the sake of their ideology a way of worship. And how can you continue in that society?
Okay. I'll ask you the same question I asked my last guest. Can you coexist with someone whose mission is your destruction?
Well, Hamas is not seeking coexistence, and
that's important. They're not interested in coexistence. That's why if you are unfortunate enough to be born in this hellhole, you are immediately taught the ropes of who's in control. Your house is not yours. They hide the weapons in the houses where they think they have cover. They use the hospitals and the schools, and we know this. We've had this intelligence ourselves for 30 years. We're not relying on Israeli propaganda. It's a fact. And in the meantime, this is the son of the co-founder telling you.
Compromise. Hamas is seeking conquest and taken over. And by the way, Israel, the destruction of the state of Israel is not Hamas' final destination. Hamas' final destination is building the Islamic Khilafah, which means an Islamic state on the rubble of every other civilization. These are the ultimate goals of the movement.
Now you see how they live, right? You see how they treat their women, their own wives, their own daughters. You see the 7th century throwback morons that they are, right? So what's their selling point? I thought the Jehovah's Witnesses had a bad one. All their spots in heaven are already taken. As for the Mormons, you get to wear the burlap underpants, which is very uncomfortable. However, you get to be Christ on the next planet. So far, the Scientologists, where you confess your sins, you get shocked a little bit, and you somehow get some of Tom Cruise's money, seems to be a fair deal. It's definitely better than this Hamas.
You say in your book that Hamas targets civilians as a tool of war. Tell us about the Hamas that you know from growing up in the West Bank.
Well, in the mosques, Hamas taught us that without shedding innocent blood for the sake of the ideology, we won't be able to build an Islamic state. They were preparing us from the age as young as 5 years old. This is the ideology that Hamas was feeding us. And honestly, it's impossible almost for anybody to break through and see the truth of and real face of Hamas and be able to leave at some point. As you see in my...
It's like the mafia, like Chicago Democrats. You can get in, but you can't get out. It's fun to watch them, the American ones, with their climate-controlled rooms and their 6 cars outside. Talk about how great it is in Palestine. Why don't you get your wrinkled ass over there? You don't like that living over there, huh? Because you're propagandists for it. You're funders of it. You're supporters because you want to do to us what unfortunately was done to so many people who were unfortunately born in the sphincter of the world called Palestine.
In case I had to lose everything just to say no to...
By the way, it won't be like that long. Pretty soon you're going to see it, Squirrel. We're going to be bidding on condos. The Ritz-Carlton will open up. Even maybe Pritzker's family castles. They'll go there. They'll have the resorts. It's going to be splendid.
Hamas. And today when I look at the children of Gaza and I know what they're fed, I know that they have no choice.
No choice. And that is why today, on television in Europe, an Irish father who married a Jewish woman and had a beautiful daughter, absolutely beautiful, one of the victims who was kidnapped, he was given the news that his daughter was killed. And I want you to hear this.
She'd be in a dark room filled with Christ knows how many people and terrified every minute, hour, day, and possible years to come. So death was a blessing.
It's better that his daughter is dead than live after what she faced, the experience of those filthy fracking animals who were taught from the time they could even stand that they had to hate people for no other reason than their phony, cowardly God, coward, that crawled in a well 1,200 years ago. And if they kill enough Jews, he crawls out, the filthy morons. Morons! And I'm supposed to hear the virtue in this? Rather than the fact you should be celebrating it, hopefully, in all of this mayhem, the leadership of Hamas, although I'm guessing they're cowardly like their God, they probably crawled in a well. They're probably in Paris like Yasser Arafat. Country made $4 billion. He skimmed off 25% so his family could go buy Louis Vuitton in Paris. And in the meantime, you get to see in this country who sides with stupid and evil, cowardly terrorists. You get to see them. And you're right. They're the same scallywags that ruin our own countries, ruin our own great cities, ruin our own neighborhoods. They're Democrats, and they're on TV. What's this tramp's name, Honey Bunny? Sonny Hostin on The View? She's a real thinker. Ooh, and a lawyer.
Sonny, you want to say something? No, I look at this from a legal perspective, and I think that we all know that Hamas has been designated a terror organization, just like many other terror organizations have had this designation, like the Proud Boys here in the United States.
Going to show you that anybody who gives the right lap dance to the right guy, you not only can get to the vice presidency, you get yourself on TV like this dingbat, this moron, with no evidence, doesn't have to care about what she says, and won't be censored She certainly won't even be corrected. She won't even be pointed out. It won't even be pointed out to her how stupid that comment was. But let's go over a couple of these HAMAS, these brave guys, these proud Hamas guys. Here's a guy in France that decided to attack kids, stabbing 2 of them with a knife. Oh, this wasn't today on the day. This was 3 months ago. 3 months ago for no other reason than he just wanted to walk around and spread the joy of Hamas. He's stabbing au pairs. He's stabbing children in buggies. He's a filthy animal. He's Hamas. Here's another one.
Now, we do want to turn over to some breaking news just in right now from France, where we learn.
How come nobody wanted to come at me today? I'm driving around with my Norwegian accent in my car for no reason today, squirrel. I didn't even work out hard this morning. Just stretched a little bit. I was ready for at least 4 of these rat bastards. Not a one of them.
A teacher has been killed and 2 others wounded in what French authorities are calling a suspected terror attack.
Yeah, this happened in the northern French town of Arras. News outlets reporting a former student stabbed the victims. The attacker has been arrested, and French anti-terror prosecutors say they're...
Old lady, unarmed teacher. Scumbag. Hamas! Yelling Ali Ali oxen free. Or Aloha snack bar. Which is what I think he was really yelling, the moron bastard that he is. In the meantime, in Jordan, they like it. Whole country turned out. It was wonderful. First time the streets have been busy. We have the translation to that, though, however.
Death to America and butter sauce. Don't boil me. I'm still alive. Iraq lobster.
Turns out that their big day of Jihad was a lot of hype and nothing else. Killing women and children, just like always. 312-642-5600.
They're stupid.
He's Shaun Thompson.
Hello, Mr. Thompson.